This episode is brought to you by Midwest Night Watchers, found everywhere on your favorite podcast platforms.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Piercing the Veil.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Sunday already.
And June 1st, we're into a new month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Where did May go? Wow.
I don't know. It's flying by.
And before you know, it's going to be the 4th of July and fireworks. Oh, should I try it? Hey!
There you go.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Welcome in, everyone. Let's see. I've got Shelly, Jackie, Dragonfly. Oh, where's my mouse? Amber. Amber's in the house. Gemini. Got everyone. All right. Well, welcome in, everyone.
So far. Yep. And tonight we're trying something new. We decided to test the waters and Kick. So if anybody has Kick, they can go out there and check us out. So we are going live in Rumble, YouTube, and Kick now.
Ooh. Hey, Roger, welcome in. Kathy, welcome in. Demario. All right. Good to see everybody. Well, I know Amber's not a stranger. She's a part of our community, and we've been friends and following her for, oh my goodness, 2-3 years. I've lost track.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to know her daughter, and we're going to have a little mini-me tonight. We've got Amber and her daughter on to interview and to talk about their experiences.
Yep. So we've followed other videos where people have talked about their upbringing and when their abilities developed, and even like ESP and other stuff like that, where children really excel at stuff like that, and until society or parents tell them, okay, you need to knock it off or you shouldn't do that. And so we'll get into all that kind of discussion possibly. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. So let's just bring them on up and get her going.
All right, here we go.
Whoop, whoop. Hey.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hello, everybody.
Well, welcome back, and Charliann, welcome to our show.
Yeah, welcome, Charliann. This little mini-me of Amber.
So if anybody watching this thinks that I'm enough trouble by myself, double trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny. We've seen Charlie in some of your videos. Every once in a while, pop in. You'll see a head once in a while. So, is this your first show, actually, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow. Well, we'll be easy on you.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
Oh, she's over here flicking rubber bands at me, apparently.
Not broken.
And you have your own channel, correct?
Yes.
Would you like to tell the audience the name of your channel?
It is Cloudy and Oracle.
Cloudy and Oracle. Maybe Blazer or one of our mods can find that. And if
Is that
not,
on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yep. I've been following her for, I think from the beginning. I remember you guys being on and you were introducing it. So it's been a while. Yeah, that's right, Amber. You can post a link. There we go.
I got it.
So yeah, Charliann has her own channel.
A little bit about
A little bit everything. A little bit everything.
A little bit of your
Roblox,
skating.
horses, skating. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some skating videos,
There's a new one.
and you posted when you got hurt too. When I started crying.
No,
Yeah, I felt so bad about that.
I didn't even know
video.
she made that video until like after we had gotten home
No, we got
because I had went to go get ice,
and
and I was like, oh my
Aw.
gosh.
I wanted to document for like no reason. I wasn't even planning on posting. So people were like bullying me in the comments for no reason.
I know that was crazy.
They were like, maybe you should maybe you should call 911. So
Yeah, I posted it several days afterwards, and there were people like, maybe you should just go to the doctor, honey. Well,
maybe you should just call 911, darling. Instead of making a whole video about it. I'm like,
all right.
Hey, jeez.
So let's go ahead and Amber, you can tell us about how you developed or how you came aware of yours, because I know you said it earlier when we were talking behind the scene that it was running in your family. So I mean, we can go through a little history first, then into Charliann's experiences, and we'll just see where it leads us.
Yeah,
Okay.
with me, it started when I was really young. I mean, I can recall a lot of things that like just weird things that happened around, I'd say age 5. And it's, I've kind of always been drawn to paranormal stuff. Even long before I knew like YouTube existed, you know, I would go to like the Trans-Allegheny Asylum and we'd take recorders and I'd be like, come on, talk to me. Like, we know you're in there. And actually I found a recorder,
Oh, God.
was it last summer? And I was letting her listen to it.
It
And
was the best.
it was from
was
a
the
long
best.
time ago. But it was pretty funny.
She was like, quit being a scary cat. I know you're here. Say something.
But and she's always, and she started she was probably a year old, and I was cooking one day, and she was standing there and she's like, Ma, and she said toast, but she had drawn a circle, like a weird looking thing with eyeballs. And she was really little. Like, she doesn't remember that. But it's kind of just, she doesn't see all of them, but she does, like, her intuition is pretty accurate on a lot of things. But she does see some things.
Do you remember that those 2 ghosts that we had in the house?
Mhm.
Absolutely correct.
Right, that's just something over time you have to develop and learn how to hone your abilities. That's what I would guess. So let me know if I'm wrong or off. Or
No, absolutely. Like, you have to work on it. But you know, I've always told her, like, if you feel scared, put that protection around you. Imagine you're like in this glowing orb of light. Call on the archangels to help you. You know, let me know. You know, but and tell them to go away, or if they're scaring you. You know, but not all of them are scary. Some of them are just hanging out.
so since you brought that up, can you, as her mother, do you have control over, or an umbrella sort of that you can bring her underneath you for protection, or how does that work?
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, I think all of us could do that. You could, you know, even just praying for protection or asking, like, you know, you guys need to leave this person alone. You can do it from a distance too. I mean, you don't have to be there with them. But yes, I've done that a lot with her. But that's one of the most important things I think anybody that's raising a child with abilities should learn to do. It's just something we all should do. Ask for that protection, that light to surround them, because you just never know what's going to happen. Because especially a child, or I guess you could compare it to somebody who maybe even has abilities that don't know it, and you're getting kind of tormented by things. The biggest thing that we can use is our voice, and just saying, hey, I'm protected, back off. You know, you have to say it. And a lot of them will listen, but some of them don't. They're like toddlers.
If they don't listen, you can just be a little bit more feistier. Feistier the better.
Now, is there, does Charliann have different abilities than you, or you both have the same kind of abilities, or how is that working out?
What do you think?
I don't really know.
She's seen some cryptids.
Yes.
She can pick up on cryptids fairly easily.
Oh yeah.
What about, you can tell them about that day you were riding your bike recently.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw a skinwalker in the woods. One time.
Oh, wow.
That seems like massive. It was pretty tall, but it was like, it was kind of like, it was like kind of skinny, but like kind of like medium sized. It was like massive. It was like this.
Just staring at you. Didn't you say his mouth was all gaped open?
Yes.
Like a big long jaw, and it was like
started like here, like
Oh.
way down. It was creepy. Okay.
So tell us a little bit. What were you doing? Where were you going? Somewhere? Were you outside somewhere and you saw this? Or?
Bike.
So our haunted woods are like up on the hill, and she goes up on that hill and she'll ride her bike down it in the yard. It was getting kind of late that night. It was almost dark, and then she came barreling back to the porch.
For sure, she made a TikTok on it.
Yeah.
Wasn't it about a year ago, Amber, that you saw something about a mile from home?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
It was like the Wendigo.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy because, you know, you hear of people like that see these or think they see them, and like they're in the distance and they see something move, you know. But this one, it was dark. I was coming home. I don't even know where I'd been, maybe an investigation. And there's up the road, there's this private family cemetery. I've never been up there. It's not my family cemetery. It's private property, but it's on a curve on the road. And I had my headlights on, and it literally ran right in front of me. Like, I'm talking 2 or 3 feet out from the headlights. And it was so fast, but it knew I saw it. And I'm like, because, you know, there's a lot of legend and lore that these things will come back and kill you. They feast on people.
Right.
Yeah, she comes home. She's like, I think I seen a Wendigo. And then she looks it up. She's like, is this said they'll like prey off people and stuff? Like once they like make contact with them and they like kill people. And she's like,
but it never messed with me again. But it was so weird because it almost, I could see where it could almost look like, I don't know how to, like maybe some type of dog man or wolf man type thing. But it was really tall, and it had like this, its back was kind of hunched over, and you could see every individual hair. It was just, and it was like brown, but you could see through it, like opaque. It was just, and it was really skinny. It was so weird looking. But immediately like, I heard Wendigo. And
well, I was just wondering if it's the same area that she just saw something.
Same woods, I guess. They kind of butt up along the, you know.
along the
Okay.
line.
But yeah, it was. We have a lot of creepy things in the woods. I mean, I think it might just be West Virginia in general.
And plus, like the
You know?
Appalachians are supposed to be like the oldest mountains of all. And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
West
a lot of
Virginia is
strange
the only
stuff.
state that is completely surrounded on all sides by the Appalachian Mountains. So we got a lot of
probably just West Virginia in general.
yeah. I think the one thing though that like as far as legends about West Virginia or the Appalachians go, that I would disagree with, because you like, especially on TikTok, you see all those videos and they're like, don't whistle at night if you hear your name. No, you didn't.
Right.
Right.
Just for outsiders, because like when I was little, we'd play outside at night. Like I mean, there's never been woods that like I wouldn't go in. We actually don't whistle at night, do we?
One time I thought about it, but
Yeah. We don't do that, but it's just because
thought about it. Then
we've seen scary things, but I don't know that they would whistle back. But I think a lot of people take it to extreme on things like that, just to have something to talk about, you know, make some stuff up. But that's how legends kind of start. But I mean, there definitely are things you wouldn't want to do. You wouldn't want to be alone at night. But there's also like there's bears, there's mountain lions. I mean, I think those would be more of a danger than other things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't, the whistling part, I don't really know one way or another. I mean, I've heard it over and over, but we don't really have that here where we live. But definitely don't answer to voices that call out your name or try to ask you for help when you can't see them or know what they are.
Or if you hear a baby crying, don't go towards it.
Yeah. I mean, but coyotes and like fox and stuff sound like that too. So sometimes it's hard to decipher. There's even times we've sat on the porch at night and we're like, what is that sound? And been here like 25 years, and sometimes there's new sounds and we're just like, what is that? But sometimes it's just an animal. Sometimes we have no idea what it is.
Right.
I'll be Googling like, what does this animal sound like? And Nothing sounds like it.
Like this 1 owl, I guess we had one time. It made like this like really weird noise, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like an owl.
Yeah.
It was like, woo, woo. Like it was just weird. Like it didn't sound like an owl.
Even like her dad is not like into like the paranormal stuff. He'll take me anywhere I need to go, but he'll just be like, do your thing. But, one night he was outside on the porch smoking, and he came in. It was kind of late, and he's like, come out and listen to this. I think it's a bird. And it sounded like laughing, like different birds laughing, but you could tell it was like a tiny voice. And I'm like, I don't know if that's what that is, babe.
Now when we went to Louisiana, there was a bird that laughed or kind of.
Yeah, went ha
That's on my bucket list. Louisiana's on my bucket list. There's a lot of vampire lore there, and I want to go check it out.
Oh yeah, a lot of vampires there.
Yeah, we went to New Orleans and checked it out, and there's some streets that were really creepy. And that's when our daughter was kind of young back then, and she held my hand and went, I don't want to go down there. So she was sensing something. So we turned around and went a different direction.
See,
Yeah, we were getting ready to go explore and got shot down.
I think if I do go, I need people to go with me, like people that I can trust. Like if you all were there and I'm like, hey, let's go in here, and you guys are like, no, because I'll be like the one to be like, oh, I'm going in here. Then
she's like the daredevil.
Yes,
I
I do a lot of things I shouldn't when it comes to paranormal. So I would be like walking up, like if somebody thought somebody was a vampire, I'd be like, hey, what do you like to drink? You know what I mean? I would
Right. I mean, I think you can go down to the place where Saint Germain was living for a while, and I think there's the nunnery where they say there's vampires on the second story of the nunnery of that Catholic church. I think you can go in that church actually.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff about Louisiana. There was an old show, I don't even know what it was called, and it was a long time ago. I watched it on TV, and it was about a police department that had gotten a call to a building in some town. It might have been toward New Orleans, I don't know, somewhere down there, and there were like zombies, and the police were like, they had gotten bit by these people and they thought they were like full on zombies. One of the officers got shot.
Wow.
But I don't know. I couldn't find. I don't know if I even tried to look it up, but I don't think I ever seen it on the news or anything. But yeah, they were like a bunch of people turning into zombies, and I don't know. I want to check it out.
Right. I mean,
I need it. Was like supervision.
when we went to Louisiana, there was a lot of places with voodoo stuff and all kinds, so you got that mixture along with the Cajuns and all that stuff. So it can be creepy at night down there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was creepy during the day.
Yeah.
I have a voodoo doll, but it's not haunted.
Yeah, it's a brand new one. It's like what'd you get, like at a Paracon?
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay.
It's handmade.
I'm like, sometimes we'll go places and she'll start talking about that, and I'm like, you gotta, like, don't make it look like we're over here like sticking people with a pen. Like, we're not doing that.
that comes in later. You can do that. So do you, Charliann, do you see yourself when you're growing up? What do you want to do with your abilities? Do you want to like help people with spirits or animals, or have you even thought about that yet? No.
She's still kind of undecided on that aspect.
I do have somewhat good healing abilities.
Yeah, she does do some really good healing stuff.
Oh.
Like almost like Reiki. She's been good at that for a while.
I can do that.
So like have you experienced anything is it like physical healing, or like is it like somebody that has spirits on them, or what kind of healing are you talking?
Like pain.
Pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like some sicknesses, like illnesses. Yeah, she does pretty good with that stuff. I mean, I guess at her age, like I've tried to get her to like focus more on kind of calmness and like trying to focus on it, but she's like, I'd rather play Roblox sometimes. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I don't.
you do all the time.
No, I don't. You're addicted to it.
I know.
Now, Charliann, you are homeschooled, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you think, Amber, that since you don't go to a public school and being programmed and this and that you're keeping her abilities alert instead of dumbing them down?
Oh,
So you think-
absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a benefit for her to be home away from all that.
Mm-hmm.
All the weird stuff.
Yeah. I mean, even before, like, a lot of things were, I guess, to say exposed with public education. I mean, I know some places aren't as bad as others, but there is a lot of things that are taught that probably shouldn't have been when it comes to world history and just different things that's happened. But I've always known I wanted
Especially like
her to not go through that. Like I was going to do it at
like,
home.
Like the space stuff and NASA. No.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Go ahead. Go ahead. What's your thought on NASA?
We've heard all angles.
Because
I think she got
You
nervous.
want to move on?
That's all right. You don't have to say nothing if you don't want.
What do you feel?
Do you think we went to the moon?
Huh? What is it?
So do you think we went to the moon?
No.
Nope. Do
No.
you think that Hollywood made all that up and filmed it?
yes.
And you
See,
all
I believe that also. I don't think we went during the first few missions anyway. I think we made all that up just in case because we didn't have a way of doing it. But I think possibly maybe we went to on the other Apollo missions. Maybe we went there, but I definitely believe that there is bases and stuff on there so that they don't want us to know about. I mean, that's what I feel. But
To be honest, for all we know, we can be on Mars.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
Mars is another mystery and a lot of conspiracy on that. And the main thing that gets me is everyone's having internet problems. Live streams, the mics will go out or the camera will go out.
Our internet's been weird lately.
Ugh.
Everybody's has. Now, get
I didn't
this.
know
How
that.
did the president get a direct line to the astronauts and it was clear and they had no problems?
Yeah, 280,000 miles away.
And we can't even get a connection now.
I can't even send Jane a text with her getting it all the time, and we're in the same house.
You know, so how did they have a phone contact on the moon with the president? You're going, okay. So,
But you know, yeah, I mean, it's like once they put something on TV, it could be just something bogus. Once they show it so many times and make so many ads, people start believing it.
Right.
But it's like reverse manifestation. When you tell yourself you're going to get that job and you really make yourself believe it, write it down, you're making that happen. But it's like they're programming you to believe that.
Yes.
Mhm.
You have to use your own discernment.
right.
And also, like, for all we know, the stars can be air holes.
We go deep
Yeah.
sometimes. We're like, what if those are just, they poke some air holes in there so we can breathe?
Sometimes they'll give us a lot. Sometimes they'll give us like 3.
No, they
Yep.
do say there's windows to heaven. Maybe they're windows. There's a lot of mystery in this world, and just don't be embarrassed on what you believe. Everybody has their own walk, their own digging down, and your own opinion. And our saying is, life is like a buffet line. Eat off your own plate. You be happy. You be happy with what you chose to put on your plate, and don't let other people say, hey, that's not right, you know. So whatever you believe in with NASA and the moon, you be proud of it.
Well, you'd be surprised though how many people actually follow that. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all
yeah.
starting to realize, we've been lied to so much.
Mm-hmm.
Did they tell us the truth about anything? So yeah, question everything.
Yeah.
Everything has a little bit of questioning to it.
Like even when we do like there's work that has to do with like placement of countries, like a lot of map stuff. Like I'll be like, okay, we're going to focus on this because like, you know, ancient Egypt's not Egypt. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
when you have wood that was used to build the ark and it only grows in Florida.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what? Something's not like
Clicking.
2 and 2. You got to put 2 and 2 together sometimes. So, I mean, that's definitely one of the benefits of homeschooling. Figure things out like that together and not have to rely on because we do use a program. So it's like some of the stuff on there, we just skip it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Some of it needs to be skipped.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's I mean, even though I went to public schools and stuff, but I was encouraged and my parents allowed it for me to look up not the internet because we didn't have the internet obviously when I was growing up, but we could watch shows or read books about Bigfoot, UFOs, or watch Arthur C. Clarke, you know, on the TV and stuff. So we weren't kept from doing that stuff, but we obviously had to do our main homework first. But other than that, whatever our interests were, you know, they did not stop us from doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just, especially like when it comes to schooling, like I don't know what in general, what are you getting out of like sitting in one spot for 8 hours a day when you're going to do it your whole life? You know what I mean? Like, unless you're like doing entrepreneurship, you're going to do it your whole life. Like, why are we doing a 9 to 5 at 5 years old?
Yeah. Yep. So almost like being in jail.
Yeah, our youngest ended up being homeschooled through high school, and she started a couple of weeks. I still feel like she had some giftings, just uncomfortable. Wasn't fearful of going into high school. She was a cheerleader and went to state track and was very popular in her class. But she came home, went, "Can I be homeschooled?" So then we got into the programs, and you're done within a couple hours.
Oh,
They
yeah.
waste so many hours for these kids to be sitting in that building, like you said. And so, yeah, we ended up doubling up, and, you know, she got done early, but it don't take that long. A couple hours, boom, they're done.
Like this last, well, we've already stopped for right now, like for like a break, but like this last semester, you had 2 different maths, right? She did sign language, which she's done really well in that. She's done that for a couple of years. She did English, the vocabulary. She did some astronomy. Like some of it, we had to like revise it. You know, there's been and then like the world history and
oh, don't forget about the computer skills.
The computer skills and
like
all of those together, like each lesson, you're looking at like 2.5, 3 hours, and that's like to complete all of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yep. Once you cut out, you know, you cut out the study halls, the PE, you cut out all that stuff that you don't really have to do unless you want to. I mean, kids are outside most of the time, or they're running around doing whatever. So you cut out a lot of time that they make you do during school.
yeah.
And we got a question.
Ooh, what?
I know the answer.
It says, Amber, have you ever taken her on a paranormal stuff? Yes.
Oh God, yes.
Depending on like a location, there's times I go places really late and super scary places. Like the one, oh my gosh, the one where I filmed that was it like a couple months ago, where the car showed up, you know, like I'm not taking her there at night. She's been there in the daytime. That place is creepy. There's some places that like if we can't be at the car quick enough, or if her dad goes, then yeah, she can go. But she gets kind of scared sometimes.
It is pretty during the daytime.
Yes. She does get a little spooked sometimes at night.
The only thing that you really need to watch out during the daytime there is the geese.
So, Charliann, are you drawn to go on investigations with your mom? Is that something you want to do in the future when you get a little bit older, that you want to do this maybe full time with your mom?
You do?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Amber and Mini-Me.
Yeah. I mean, that's like one thing I will never tell her is like, oh, you didn't see that, you didn't hear that, because that's just another form of conditioning. You know, it's just another form of it. I think a lot of times parents do that and they don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You do it to try to protect your kid, but in turn, it just makes it so much worse as they grow. You know, and then they'll have all these questions when they're older, like, hey, this happened when I was younger, but you know, maybe I'm crazy. You know, you can make them really start questioning their own thought process or who they are. And you didn't mean to.
Right. I mean, sometimes parents shoot them down by accident, like you said, but sometimes it's because they don't want to believe in that.
Like,
you know, not that, okay, don't say that. It's because they don't want to open up their minds. They might have saw the same thing, but just don't want to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We have to at least listen to them. You know, if they saw something under their bed, ask them what it looked like, how it made them feel. You know, not everything is scary.
Most of the time, parents say, "Oh, it was just a nightmare. You're fine. Go back to sleep."
There was this like one little boy spirit that would like live here with us.
He stayed for a little while, didn't he?
Yeah, he stayed for about like 2 years, maybe 1 year.
I don't know.
Cause like I would say something and he would say it after me, like, and you could hear it on like video. Like I would ask her if she wanted a drink or something, and it would be like, "Do you want to drink or something?"
Yeah.
Drink water.
And you could hear him walking in the woods too, because we went up in the woods one day and he would talk, like he would answer her questions.
And he would be like, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Now we got another question from Daryl. What do you think about Bigfoot? Is it real or do you think it's not?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll let you take this one.
Oh Lord. So yes, I
Yes.
think Bigfoot is real, but I don't really think that they always like can be like what people think it is, like the big hairy man thing that lives in the woods. I don't think it could be they can show themselves probably differently.
Yeah, because there's a couple different theories on Bigfoot. You know, some people think it's flesh and blood only, like us, like humans, and other people think, you know, okay, well, they have special abilities, just like we're talking about today.
Yeah.
They can be dimensional, they can be spirits. I mean, there's all kinds of avenues, and I think it fits. I think they fit everything. I think they can be dimensional and spiritual and flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm. We were watching a show the other day, and or I turned one on. Sometimes I'll turn it on just for noise, and I don't know what it was, but this person was on there, and they were talking about how they're drawing Bigfoot in by just sitting there making these noises, like pretending to be an owl, and I thought, somebody that lives in the woods, right? They're going to know the difference, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, whether they choose to interact with you or not, that's their decision, but they know the difference.
Yeah.
But this person was convinced that like they can draw Bigfoot in and Bigfoot didn't know it was them. But I was like, no.
And then one of them started like squealing. They're like, "I'm drawing in Bigfoot by doing this." There's like, they start squealing. I'm like, how are you trying to draw in Bigfoot by doing that?
I mean, making noises probably could help, but I think they still know. They still know.
Like banging on trees might help. Or like using a stick, you know, like try to get their attention with that.
But yes,
Right.
I mean, absolutely, Bigfoot are real.
Yes.
I've been to places where there's gugwe there. And like I said before, I had to call or message Connor and ask him, you know, Bigfoot Anonymous. I had to ask him because I'm like, what is this thing? It looks just like Bigfoot, but it's meaner. It's got this big mouth, like this ape looking mouth. And they're really mean. They didn't want me there. They were throwing stuff at me. They were like chasing us. You know, they didn't want me there. And he was like, "Oh, look up this." And I did. And it's exactly what I saw. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I do feel though that a lot of times when people connect with, or they think they're connecting with Bigfoot, it could be something else. It could be elementals. It could be, it could possibly be like ET activity. It could be just different spirits messing with them. It could be fae. It could be, I mean, there's so many different things that are out there.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that automatically just assume that it's just Bigfoot. But we've seen so many different things. There's just a lot of it.
We've heard many theories about how the Bigfoot or Sasquatch work with the elementals, and they're here to help protect the earth or the environment, and so that's why they work so closely with them. And if they're out in the woods all the time, they're going to get to know, like you said, what an owl sounds like, how it behaves. And I think there's a big connection between owls and Sasquatch. So I understand why the guy was trying to imitate an owl, but like you said, they're going to know the difference, and they can actually, I believe the Sasquatch can actually feel the frequency or the presence of what the thing is, whether it's us walking in the woods or whether it's a natural animal.
Yes,
we can also know the difference because I've heard strange owls that's not an owl.
Right.
They mimic so well that I've heard several times. Geese, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, they're not being attacked, but they normally don't honk, 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 down there at the river in the middle of the night, and they don't sound like normal geese. And so some of the owls, I mean, we can kind of tell the difference, like that wasn't an owl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even just regular animals in the woods, I do believe that they are not interdimensional, but they're it's almost like they're so used to seeing things and like their vibration is just higher. And we tend to not think of like deer or rabbits with a higher vibration. And it's humans that don't have that higher vibration. Like we're the ones on the bottom thinking that these things are not like us or dumb or whatever we think they are. But we're the ones that need to raise our vibration so that we can connect. But I do think they have to know when it's a human with a stick, but they can still choose to, like, they're probably like, hey, they're trying really hard. Let's go hang out. Let's mingle with them a little bit. But if you take somebody, like anytime you're in the woods, whether you're looking for elementals or just wanting to see what's out there, Bigfoot, whatever, you have to watch your company, because if you take somebody out there that's had a bad day, that's questioning everything, that's very closed-minded, you're not going to have good interactions. You're not going to get what you want.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about that on our shows before, where, like you said, if you're having a bad day or if you're just that type of person, don't bring them out there, because you're going to attract what you're putting out. So you might have a bad experience, or you might not get any experience at all, because they want to avoid you. They don't want this negativity either.
And then there's also people that could hear things and you could show them stuff and they're like, might be just be a wild donkey. You know what I mean? Like you could show people whatever that you can give them proof, and they're just like, I don't know.
I like how you used the donkey.
Yeah. It just popped in my head. I've never seen a wild donkey in the woods, but.
Yeah, you got to have an open mind going down these rabbit holes.
Yes.
So have either of you two ever experienced, say, mind speak or any kind of presence of an animal or cryptid or anything that's kind of talked to you or gave you off a presence?
Yeah, I mean, I have with some of the hairy men in the woods. I haven't for a long time. I haven't really messed with them. Tried to. It's been a couple of years. But I mean, as far as like when you're talking about cryptids or spirit animals, it's possible to do that with any of them. You just got to kind of be at that level where you're calm. You have to be calm and a clear mind, and you could do that with any of them.
Well, you can do that with your own pets. Have you ever felt there's that communication with your dog or cat or even the goats when you had them?
Yes. Yes, we've definitely done that.
There's definitely
Charlie, have you ever had felt any presence of animals or any extra senses or anything with them?
I have seen like some animals that have passed away and stuff, and like I can definitely see spirits. But
what about connecting with animals or other things, like telepathically?
Not really sure on that.
So when you said you've seen past animals, do you see them as a ghost form, or is it like a foggy thing, or what does it look like to you?
Like I could see like the shape of it, but most of the time it's like I would like to corner my eye or like go about it real fast, or like.
Yeah, we've had several cats show up, and dogs that we've seen,
and just
like
random white and black mist.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. See, I've never seen one, but one of our favorite cats passed away, and me and Jane was in bed, and I could have swore a cat jumped up on our bed and walked between us, but obviously there was no cat on our bed.
No. Are you still having that mist that you were seeing out there by the barn?
I pulled in the driveway. When was it when I seen it? When I screamed. It was like a couple days ago because it scared me.
Wait, can I tell you?
Okay, go
Can I
ahead.
tell them about that one time that you seen a mystical unicorn?
Wait. But it was just like last week or something. We pulled in the driveway, and I was going to open the door, and this white blur just came at me and just stopped right, just disappeared, and it scared me. So I was like, I kind of screamed for a second. But yeah, that's the only time I've seen it for a while. I hooked my camera up and it quit.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well, I remember you were out in,
Mhm.
I can't remember where you were at, but you saw a mist out in the forest or out in the trees. I can't remember.
Yes, that's the same location where the Gugwe are and all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell them about it.
We was driving by, we was going around the curve and getting ready to get home, and like not even like 2 minutes, like not even a minute away from home, and she looks out the window, she's like, oh my god, I think I've seen a mystical unicorn. It was like standing right there. I'm like, okay.
It's always fun on road trips with me.
Yes. That's the best.
So did it look like a horse with the horn or the typical
it was
unicorn?
huge. It wasn't like a regular size. It was huge.
Oh,
wow.
Like big. Like the size, like tall as like 3 horses. You know what I mean? It was
God.
big.
oh, wow.
It's like the size, like 14 foot tall.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I never would have imagined them being that big.
Well, the one I saw was, and then it was gone.
Ow, Jasper.
Then I saw a tree man recently literally standing beside our maple tree when you pull in. And it was about that far from the tree.
I remember that.
And it looked just like a tree, but it was like
Hmm.
no green stuff on it, just like the trunk part. And then it opened its eyes and went like that. And I was like, whoo. And that was all daytime. Like all this happened in the daytime.
Now, there's been a few times where we'd be at the cemetery around like evening time, which would still be at daylight, and we'd just walking back to our car, and we hear like footsteps behind us, voices. Like I know some ghosts will scream in our ear.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that was the tree man actually there, or you were seeing the spirit of it?
I definitely think it was some type of elemental.
Okay.
But it was so weird that it was just right beside the tree. Like he could have backed up to it. I think maybe I just kind of like surprised him.
Ah.
Maybe he was going to give his position when he showed up to her.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird though.
Or maybe he was going to surprise
Like
her.
some of the things I've seen, people would probably think I'm absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about like the green man where it looks like a bush or looks like something like, but I don't know if the tree man and the green man are similar or they're two different separate elementals or what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that I mean, if you want to look at it in a energetic aspect, it's like the trees, the bushes, the grass, everything's alive. Everything has a conscience. So I mean, I think the possibilities are endless for what exists.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's all connected. I mean, whether it's like you said, the living plants, trees, nature itself, insects, and they all communicate amongst each other on the frequencies and vibrations, but we just can't. Not all of us can pick that up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things. It's not just black and white. There's a lot of in between.
Yeah.
Have you noticed each year that's like the veil is thinning or you're having more contact, more sightings? Like, it's increasing,
Yeah.
day by day.
I've always used that expression like the veil is getting thinner.
Right.
But recently, I believe it's our own veil that thins.
Yeah.
Because these things have existed since the beginning of time,
Mhm.
and they can connect with one another. We're the ones that are having that trouble seeing them and experiencing them.
Yeah.
So I think in a way, it's like we each have our own veil, and that's thinning when we raise our consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're waking up and
Yeah.
raising our frequency. Yeah.
Yes.
It's getting
So I think it's
thin.
like our individual veil, if you know what I mean. Like it's
Mhm. Yeah, that
because,
makes
you know,
sense.
two people could go in the same woods and one could just hear this and that and spirits and see things and get it on video while the other one sits there and they're like, I didn't see nothing but a deer, you know? It
Right.
just depends on who it is.
Yeah, I think it's something you also just sort of like we talked about with Charlie about developing your abilities or whatever. I think once we learn how to pierce that veil or to make it thin so we can see stuff, it gets easier and easier each time, and we don't even realize it that we're crossing over and seeing, or they're coming to us.
Mm-hmm. And I do believe a lot of times, like when we dream and we go places in our dreams,
Mm-hmm.
that's on that higher frequency. It's like that's what we're experiencing. Even if they say the dreams are wild and crazy, I mean,
Yeah.
we're so used to this normal pattern in life, you know, like go to
Right.
work, go to
Yep.
the grocery store, come home, make dinner, go to bed. Like we have this such a pattern that there's so much out there that exists that, you know, when we do dream and have these weird dreams, you know, maybe that's what's real. And we're just in like, we're almost like in a simulation, you know, it's just
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
over and over.
What about the
Yeah, I've heard it referred to like when we're dreaming, we're like being on a computer, we're online, we're on the internet, you know, we're actually experiencing doing stuff. And then when we're not asleep and not in the astral plane, that it's like being like your computer on standby, or you power your computer down.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that could affect just affect what we experience. And you know, sometimes I'll have these weird deep thoughts and she'll be like, don't go that deep again. So the other night I was thinking, I was like, well, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we're all really just laying in these big rooms asleep on a table and we have these things on our heads and we're experiencing life through that, but we're really not awake.
Kind of like the Matrix.
Yes.
Yep.
It's,
Yep. You never know. I think they locked up or they froze for a minute. So we'll just sit here and wait. There we
There
go.
we are.
You're back. Oh, we
Now we
can't hear you.
Hear you.
Can you
Now we got you.
you got okay.
can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So like
StreamYard glitch.
we start talking about the Matrix and been in a simulation.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then it goes out.
Oh, no.
We'll get you. We're just gonna
I mean,
get you.
like
up.
I've said before, I'm sure my name's on somebody's list.
If I run. But
Yeah,
what
once you get shadow banned, that's it. They watch you.
Oh yeah.
What I'll say is like it'll be like 11 o'clock at night. She'll be like, "Guess what? I have an idea." And I'll be like, "Don't go deep." She's like, "I am." I'm like, "Okay."
I do it all the time.
It's like all the time though.
Just like I think I made a video on this one and put it on TikTok or something, but I was like, you know, what if we're all the spirit and somebody else is trying to
Oh,
connect
yeah.
with us when we think we're connecting with spirit?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was wild that I don't know, like I probably mentioned it before, but Kalani had that happen to him, and you know, they were trying to connect with the spirit, and I think he was live on TikTok at the time, and they were asking questions, but the person they were connected to over the spirit box was asking them questions, like asking them to move things and make noises, and they gave him a full name, and when they go look this person up, it was like from the future, and the guy's name was like an older guy who was into time travel.
Right.
But it gave him full on names. It was just
Crazy.
weird.
Yeah, me and James talked about this before, running this stuff. You know, we just bounce ideas off of each other, whatever comes up. And we've wondered, you know, when you hear or listen to a spirit or whatever, you're not necessarily guaranteed that that's somebody who is past, who's gone. It, like you said, could be somebody from the future. What if they think we're the ghosts? What if they think we're haunting them?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of theories with time, you know, that it all happens at the same time, past, present, future.
Right.
Yep.
You could actually run into a version of yourself. And honestly, I believe that's what a mimic is. People talk about, oh, if it's a mimic and they say your name or it looks like you, don't talk to it. But I think we're just catching a glimpse of ourselves in a different timeline. I don't think it's anything to be afraid of. But yeah, there's just a lot to it. I mean, there's so many different possibilities, I guess.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, whether it's timelines or dimensions or
It's like when we were at Brown Mountain, you know, the lights at Brown Mountain, my mom saw a person walk in front of us, and it was that outline, like almost like he was see-through, but he wasn't dead. He was alive. He was very well alive.
I remember that.
And it's just wild. Like the dude knew she seen him. And I mean, it was just like, I don't know.
We had so many crazy experiences at Brown Mountain.
Yeah. Like if you look at somebody and they're kind of like
how do you know it's not
water or something, you know?
How do you know it's not military or 3-letter agencies having these suits on, you know, that makes you kind of disappear? And they're surveilling us and they're right next to you, but you can't see them because they're got, you know, you see the blanket,
oh my gosh, that's going to give me something
and it disappeared.
They could be sitting beside me right now.
Yeah. And you don't see them because they're in these invisible suits that the army.
Maybe that's why, like, sometimes you'll feel like somebody touch you and maybe they accidentally bumped into you and they're like,
right. Yeah. Or you move suddenly and they weren't ready for you. Yeah.
And that's why they look kind of glitchy at times. And so, yeah, I've seen these videos, you know, they lift up the curtain and there is nothing there. You can just see past it.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things to think about.
Oh, God, that is giving me something to think about deep.
Yeah. Yeah. Brown Mountain, like I said before, and I believe it's with every single state park, national forest, whatever. There are government cover-ups there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
they have creatures there.
Yes.
Just like Brown Mountain, they have creatures there that feed off of people. You know, you have a tourist attraction. People are going to be there. If somebody goes missing, let's chalk it up to a bear attack, and nobody says anything.
Yeah.
They've been tracked. They have tracking devices on. So, yeah, they know about them.
And let me tell you something. We had the craziest experience at Brown Mountain. It was like crying, I want to leave right now kind of experience.
Oh.
What?
Like what? Tell us.
Cabin.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. You can talk about it.
Like, we're getting ready to go to bed, okay? Everyone's laying in bed. Everyone's getting ready to go to bed. My cousin was upstairs sleeping on the couch because there wasn't. And next thing you know, she has to go stand up, lights turn on in the hot tub room in the basement part, and then the fire alarm goes off. Not even
really.
It didn't do how gives you a warning if it's getting ready to come on.
Right.
Like it didn't even do it. It just came on, and then I seen a few things there, and it was just crazy.
Wow, that's weird because Jane and I talk all the time about, you know, how they can affect electronics or electrical devices, like people's lights turn on and off. And
and the door was unlocked when we locked it. That lead to the outside. Because like on the outside you can like walk down this little pathway and go in that way, but
right.
We locked it because we didn't want no one breaking it, of course, and it was unlocked. And we're like, me and Mom still looking at each other, and we're like, which one of us is want to go in there to turn off that light? Let me tell you how you, like the thing on like the ceiling fan.
Yeah.
The light piece, it was like zip tied to the other one.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was crazy.
That place was creepy.
It was.
And we have never been to, what is it? Is it Gatlinburg? Like it's supposed to be really haunted,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I've typed anything in on TikTok. We were talking about it because we're going there here soon. And all of a sudden I start seeing all this stuff come up on my feed on TikTok about these hauntings that so that's going to be exciting.
And about Brown Mountain, what's bad is that the guy gave us a free stay because no one has ever seen anything or happened there.
Now, did you see any of the strange lights coming out of the mountain?
No. And that's definitely, I think people that do see that is just energy coming from the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm 100% convinced that not every mountain, but a lot of the Appalachian Mountains, there's pyramids hidden underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of energy.
Because
We've heard that.
It creates things to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
when they take down mountains to like build something, why is it always stone and not dirt? Wouldn't you think it'd be dirt because mountains?
We've seen
Yep.
a lot of those recently.
Yeah, absolutely.
One time we was on our way there. It was with me and Mom, and we see these like bushes, but they were like shaped like people doing like this, and
I tried to get a video, but I was on the
it
interstate.
was like this, and like they were full on like shapes of people.
Like in the woods, they weren't like the wood line, and they were like in front of it, and they were just like trees and stuff, but they were like, they had fingers, hands, faces. It was the craziest
Like
thing.
one of them was doing
Wow.
like this, and it was just creepy.
Yeah, because we talked about earlier about tree people and stuff, but there's according to Native Americans and that there is elementals that are rock people also, not only trees but rocks. So they could fit right into the cliffs and the side of hills.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know it.
Especially like the mountains being shaped like people, like giants like sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing to think about too.
There's a lot of mountains that are shaped different, like
Yes.
animals and
Yes.
You can see it too. Like
yeah,
you can
people
see,
laying
It'll
down.
be like all
Yeah.
flat with those curves goes.
like, isn't that one movie you watched, Moana? Like they have
Yeah.
the person that wakes, it's like asleep and it's a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like an
Mhm.
island, and then like
Yeah.
woo.
They tell us.
Yeah, there's several places. Well, we went out west for your mom's funeral. Was right there. We could see the sleeping man or whatever on the
Yeah.
mountain. Looks like a giant sleeping on top of the mountain.
Hmm.
Hmm.
They're everywhere. You just got to know what to look for.
Right. Our hidden history.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just like some of these plateaus, are they tree stumps?
And just like a little bit ago, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot said state parks are monitored. They're like a military base, 100%.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Black helicopters monitoring all over.
Yeah.
Blocking off places they don't want you to go when you know there's nothing wrong with the trails or not
Right.
doing maintenance. They just don't want you in that area or something's in that area and they want you to stay out.
And when we was at Brown Mountain, I wasn't awake yet, and I guess her and my mama got up real early, and they're like, "Let's use the Ouija board real quick." And they went out on the little deck, and they asked it what had happened if they didn't leave when they did at the scene, the Brown Mountain area, the attraction center piece. I don't know what you call it, but they said on the spirit side, it said your car wouldn't have started.
Oh,
We would have been stuck there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Now we got another good question. Why do kids grow out of the ability? Wendell wants to know.
Why do you think that is?
There's a lot of reasons, probably. Honestly.
You want to answer it? Or do you want me to?
Go for you.
Okay. For the most part, it's because society and people you're around.
Mainly media, too.
Well, a lot of times family, they'll tell you it's not real. It's pretty much just, that's why.
Conditioning.
That's why. You come inside and say there's something scary outside, and they're like, oh, it's all in your head. You're fine. There's nothing out. I don't see anything. And that's all
Right.
it is, a few times of that. And then they're going to block it off.
yep.
Yeah.
Then like you were talking about in school, your peers, peer pressure, you don't want to be the one that's outside of what everybody else thinks. So if you tell them that you saw a ghost or you heard this or that, then they start whispering about you. Then pretty soon you're the outcast.
And sometimes you shut down your own abilities and you don't want them. So you tune yourself down.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's mainly is conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you allow your children to just at least express how they feel and at least validate it, say, hey, I know you thought, you saw this. I didn't see it, but I believe you. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Go inside, find something to do. Let's do something else. You don't have to be outside, or you don't have to be, come and sleep in my bed. You don't have to stay in there if you're scared.
Right.
That's all it takes.
I also believe everybody has abilities. You can either open them up and use them or you shut them down.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you just have to I mean, like I said, and a lot of times, like even in my own family, like we've got a lot of very religious people that just, modern day religion tells you that everything is just of the devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can tell you right now that I'm not ever channeling the devil. I'm not ever just working hand in hand with the devil. It's baloney. Some people may do that stuff.
Right.
But assume that everybody does that. No. I mean, if you want to look at the Bible, I mean, Jesus sent angels to talk to people. Jesus healed people. He had people heal people. They did a lot of what people would call today is magic,
Right.
So, people condemn other people for doing the same thing Jesus did or something similar, like what was going on then. I mean,
Absolutely.
we weren't there. We don't know. So, but to judge somebody like that,
That's why I say stay off of other people's plates and focus on your own life and your own plate. Everyone has different abilities. You have people like, well, I didn't feel that or I didn't sense that. So they're doubting you. So, well, okay, you didn't experience it, but the other person actually did.
Yeah. I'm looking at the comment on here about her
Yeah,
dog.
Arcana.
Yeah. Used to see the spiritual world when she was young, and she became so terrified in what she saw, she blocked her abilities. Right.
And that'll always, ultimately just be up to her if she ever wants to work on that. But just protecting yourself, and like I said earlier in the show, like surrounding yourself with a light. Imagine this big egg of light or orb of light, and you're standing in it and you're surrounded by it. Calling on archangels or calling on your spirit guides, ancestors to protect you and asking for help. And also just if something is scary, just tell it to leave. You're not welcome here. Get out of here. Using your voice is the most powerful thing we have.
It was said earlier, the feistier the better.
I mean, we were talking about that, society or peers, stopping your abilities because you don't want to go against the grain or seem like the outcast. But we also put filters on ourselves, like you just talked about, and Arcane brought up that, we might get scared because we don't understand something, or if you're young, it might scare you. So we put filters in our mind and our bodies so we don't experience that anymore, don't feel frightened.
And a lot of times, and I think everybody's experienced this to some degree, but like back when I'll use this for an example, but back when people had landlines, were there ever any times that you just absolutely knew who was calling without looking at the caller ID? You just knew, or you could sense if somebody passed away. Maybe you dreamt about them, or you just had a gut feeling about somebody. You walk by somebody in the store and you could just tell they're a good person or a bad person. You could just tell.
Yes, you sense it.
But when and that's a part of using our abilities, but it's like people don't put that together with it until something scary happens. And then they want to like say, hey, this is horrible. This is scary. I don't want nothing to do with it. But you've been using your abilities for years and you never knew it.
Right. I think it's happened to everybody back then that you think of somebody and then instantly that phone rings and it's them. There's a connection in there. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people experience it and they go, oh, that's a coincidence.
I had one experience like that over the phone. Well, I've had other experiences, but this is the best one. That I was a young kid, still in grade school. I was at home. Mom and Dad was going to the hospital to a mom's sister. My Aunt Rena was at the end of life or getting close, so they were going to go visit her in the hospital. The phone rang while I was at home. I'm just there by myself, and instantly I knew my aunt passed away. I picked it up. It was the two nuns calling to say their condolences, and they were so embarrassed because I didn't know my aunt passed, and they were telling me that my aunt passed without even knowing it. But as soon as the phone rang, I just knew Aunt Rena passed. Yeah, and I don't even think that was on my mind. I wasn't even thinking about Aunt Rena or end of life or anything. I just know my parents left and was going to go visit her.
See, and that's a form of like what I was talking about, using your abilities, using your intuition.
Yes.
And nobody really puts that together until it's something scary. And you don't realize that you've been doing this for years and you're using that sixth sense or that ability until it's
another question. Does Charliann have other friends with similar gifts?
Do you?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
You know if I answer it?
No. I do not have any.
No, just us,
Just you guys.
family.
'Cause I was going to ask that earlier if she had any friends that she talks to and they talk back and forth about what her abilities are, or does she just keep it to herself?
Yeah, I mean, she has a friend in ice skating that they skate together that's also homeschooled, and they maybe talk about like spooky stuff together, like they both
Okay.
like scary movies. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's not in detail. No, not in detail.
No, you gotta wait 3 more years for that. You gotta wait 3 more years.
That's kind of how I grew up. We always watched like spooky movies or scary stuff, growing up, but we never really talked about the existence or the reality, of it or experienced that growing up, either with my friends or my family, my parents. They didn't say it didn't exist, but they didn't acknowledge that it did either, other than through the church,
Mhm.
that kind of spirituality.
Right.
Now, I remember a couple years ago on your show that I don't remember all the details, but you felt a lot of the darkness or fearfulness. And I remember you calling out the Lord's Prayer. Do you remember that experience?
Yes.
And then
I don't
everything
remember what it was
went
for.
better once you were saying the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, I don't
Everything cleared
remember
out.
what was happening though.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It was a couple
Probably
years ago.
something I brought home with me, I'm sure. I don't
Yeah,
remember what it
That's
was
happened
though.
multiple times.
Because
There's
we
been-
have heard that, people are using in Jesus' name when they're out in the woods before the
Um,
danger road. But I remember you saying the Lord's Prayer and everything
Yes.
went to calm down.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just depends on your own beliefs as well as what type of what you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like some spirits just don't care if you do that, and some do. Some are like, okay, I'll back off. Do you know what I mean? Like it just depends. I mean, they still have their personality and free will in death, or in their soul form.
And yes, Wendell, we talked about that. They
Yeah,
both
maybe.
believe in Bigfoot. Even Charliann.
Yes. I like
I think a lot of times we're talking about, invoking Jesus' name. I think if you're not a Christian or you don't believe in Jesus or what he's about, they know. You're
Oh,
just
yeah.
you're
They know
just
your
saying
faith.
the name, you don't really believe it. So why would I back off?
Right. They know your faith and they sense the Holy Ghost on you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know a lot of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I've ever actually made a video saying this, but like from the time I can remember until I was like in my early 20s, I grew up in church, always went to church. I've been to many different churches. I think I was baptized like 3 times. I don't even know, twice at least. Fell down the steps once, right in the water.
Baptized with a garden hose.
So, I mean, I've experienced both sides of it. And for me now, I do not go to church now, but I do know that God is a big energy. Like God is a very powerful energy, but
Right.
I don't, but getting like modern day religion mixed up into why we're here, in my opinion, that's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Like I feel closer to God, to Mother Earth, to who I truly am, doing what I do now, being who I am.
Yes.
That's my opinion. Like I said, I've experienced it all. I've been to churches where people are falling over on the floor and talking in tongues, and I mean all that stuff. And but if they ever knew that I was connected with the Spirit, they'd shun me in a heartbeat. The same people would be talking about me behind my back.
Right.
Been there. Yeah. We left the church organization around 2012, and we've got our own personal relationship, and things have opened up. You got to open up your mind, have an open mind, listen to the truth. And I think a lot of us are waking up these last
and
years.
I will say this because just because we're talking about it, and hopefully it comes out soon. But there's a lot of pastors that you see on TV that are part of the Nuggie, if you know what I'm talking about. They're not good people.
Right.
Not who you think they are. It's been manipulated. So
Yep.
Now, this is interesting. We kind of touched on it a little bit. Cosmic Joe said there's nothing prepared me for Mount Airy farmhouse and being pushed by a shadow. Now, you talked a little bit about something nudging you, but have you ever been pushed or physically assaulted by a spirit?
who, me?
You or Charlie? Have you ever felt the
I
presence?
And I think I've told that story before when she was little. That was one of the main ones. But yeah, I get touched and grabbed a lot.
I'll tell your story.
Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, stop. It just depends. Sometimes they get a little handsy, but I've never really been other than that time when she was little. I don't think I've ever been attacked. You know what I mean? I did have a sleep paralysis, but I wasn't a sleep type experience one time. And that was terrifying. I saw this, and this was around the same time. I was laying on the couch. I couldn't move. I was awake. I could see the TV on. I could see everything. I could not sit up. I couldn't speak. And I saw a shadow coming at me, and I could not move. And that was terrifying. That's the only time it's ever happened. And that was years ago.
What about the voice screaming in your ear?
Yeah. But I've never been like assaulted, I guess, other than that one time when I got pulled out of the bed. Yeah, that's the only time that's ever happened.
Yeah, a lot of times when you're on a live investigation and something touches you, you get kind of feisty and say, don't you touch me. You have no permission to touch me.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, keep your hands to yourself.
That's right.
If you could touch me or not.
Right. And I had somebody leave a comment on that one video, and they were like, why would you go on a ghost hunt and didn't get upset when they touch you? I'm like, do you go around touching strangers?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just go around grabbing their hannies or something? Like, you don't do that to people, dead or alive. Be respectful.
You want to see something and hear something, but do not touch.
Yes.
Unless you ask. Like, if I ask you to move something, do it.
I know. I wish they would all the time, but they don't.
I mean, if it was just an acknowledgement, just a little brush or something, just to know that they're there. Mm-hmm. But to physically assault you, though, that's like you said, no matter if you're living or not, that's over the bounds.
Yeah. Yep. And and it probably, I think a lot of times why it's not happening is just because, like you said, setting boundaries.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, I've had that experience before in the past. But when you keep your frequency high enough, negative's not going to bother you. It's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And like I've said before, people that get like possessed or whatever, it's typically not everybody, but it is typically people that are possibly drinking too much into drug use. There are people that have like just got divorced or having, in bad toxic relationships. It's not somebody that's vibrating on a high frequency because it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have heard stories about walk-ins, when people are under the influence, whether it's alcohol or drugs, that they come in because that's what they did when they were living and they wanted to experience that again. So they're a walk-in to try to get that one last high or one buzz.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that could also be like, almost like you're being a trigger object. Yeah. But yeah, I like a good margarita once in a while, but it's one, like every 6 months. It's not all the time. And
right.
It's these things you learn over the years. It's not worth it. Is it worth to go, drink a 6-pack or a 12-pack and set yourself up for something really bad happening? It's not worth it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because things like that will lower your vibration and your frequency. Mm-hmm. And you could be here and then it goes down here, and that's where all the things come in.
Yeah, like Jim just said, Amber and her daughter are very positive. They have lots of power. Dark people attack dark.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, we brought that up before. Even UFO experiences like Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
Betty wanted to go up in space and fly around, have a great time, check out wonders of the world or the outer space. And Barney was afraid that they were going to experiment on him and do all this stuff. Well, guess who had the good experience and guess who had the bad?
Don't look at mom like that.
So is there any other stories or experiences that you guys would like to talk about, or especially Charlie, since this is her first time on? Is there anything you'd like to tell us before we take off?
Charlie's first interview. The floor is yours, girl.
Oh yeah.
Tell him about that.
Oh wait. To Walmart.
Talk louder.
And we hear like this little tapping on our car, and it was like
up on the roof, wasn't
like
it?
on the roof. Like if something was like rolling off the car or something. We're like, did we leave something on top of the car? We park. Look, we heard it like 3 times at least. Look up on the car, nothing there. Not even a leaf, not even a little twig. Nothing on it.
And that was very recently. That was interesting. And then the time the radio went on by itself. That was fun.
Oh. What was that?
That was about 2 years ago.
Was it the Jeep?
Yes, because that's when I did Spaced Out Radio.
Oh yeah. That was fun. We had our radio was turned off when it was parked up in a cemetery for some reason.
Oh really?
That's just our life. Parked in a cemetery. And we're sitting there. We're getting ready to get out. We already unbuckle our seatbelts. And next thing you know, the radio is like really loud and it goes, ah! It's like, this comes on by itself and this goes right back off. And we're like, what was
But
that?
I had the auxiliary cord hooked up, so it wasn't even on the radio. And there was it wasn't plugged into anything.
Oh.
But it was funny.
Come, you're in this too. Not just me.
Wow.
So.
But somebody was singing through we were in the cemetery.
It was like,
though.
It was weird. It was weird.
Are those your favorite experiences, Charlie, or have you had other experiences that's really fond of? What's your favorite one that you've had so far, or maybe it's something your mom has experienced? What's your favorite story?
One of them that I still kind of funny was when I was like, I don't know how old I was, but I was like little, and my dad was beside of me. We was at the asylum, I think, and I looked up in the sky and I go, hello.
You were looking toward the tuberculosis building
Or something.
And she was like, hi. That was a crazy day. That was our first time there, wasn't it? So we got there like way before they opened. And we walk around the back of the building and we hear the craziest scream ever. This woman from inside screaming, top of her lungs. And we're like, oh gosh, somebody's inside, somebody's hurt, So we go around, doors locked, nobody's in the building. It was crazy. And she was just saying hi to people that nobody could see the whole time.
And then, like maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3. But I drew this like cryptid looking thing that I think I seen, and it was all green. It was like wearing this like suit with like a tie. And its a head. It didn't really have a head, but it had like all these like little tubes on it.
Really?
I actually have a drawing of.
You should have gotten it out. That's a cool drawing.
But it was like had all these like little tubes on his head.
Yeah, it was like a green man with a suit and tie with tubes coming out of his head.
Oh wow!
Oh, interesting.
We just seen it the other day, though, didn't we?
Oh no!
Wow, cool.
Save some of those.
So we talked about you have Gatlinburg and Louisiana's on your list. Is there any place that would be like your all-time favorite place to go visit for either hauntings or paranormal cryptids? I want Charlie to answer that too.
There's a lot of places I think I would like to go. I would love to go to the hotel where The Shining was filmed.
Oh yeah.
Through it. The island of the dolls in Mexico. I would like to go there.
Oh no.
You got to take a boat to get there and you're stuck there on the swampy. No. I mean,
surrounded by dolls. No.
Yeah.
No,
that would be scary. Louisiana for sure. Maybe Savannah, Salem. Like, I mean, things like that. Like just the typical places would be cool. But my favorite places are just out in the woods.
Yeah.
It's just a
Would,
creep.
would you ever want to go to Japan to like the suicide forest?
My only issue is with that would be that people still use it. You know what I mean?
do.
I would not
Yeah,
want to be there,
I know.
like even filming and that happen. Like that would be some trauma. But I've definitely that place is there's definitely like almost like I don't know if I'm gonna call it a portal, but it what I picked up on that place is that it almost like it changes you. You know what I mean? Like it'll make you do things. So somebody might go in there considering it, but then you get in there.
Right.
And it's almost like somebody's making you do this stuff. That'd be a good place to go and to look at like that. But just what I've picked up on it from almost like psychically remote viewing it, it's like there's something there that makes people do this.
Right. Yep. I mean,
There's a lot
not
of-
only is it a place of high trauma, you know, that happens over and over, you know, does that take on its own spirit of that area, you know?
It's like, because, you know, a lot of energy, especially negative energy, can create entities. Like you can create these things too. But yeah, there's definitely something with that place.
Have you ever been to Roanoke or want to go there?
I've been through there before. Is there a specific place there that you're speaking about?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I mean, so I'm not
Well,
familiar with.
I don't know. Are they talking about like the Pilgrim Roanoke where everybody disappeared, or a different Roanoke? I guess I don't know. I know Charleston is a great place to go. That's a very haunted cemeteries and buildings and everything for us, for Charleston.
We need to all get together and go on a little exploration.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Yes.
For sure.
Is Jane, is Lynn Monet's property? That's in Louisiana, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We have a place you can stay.
Bread and breakfast kind of deal where you can stay there.
Oh, yeah.
And she actually has fairies and elementals and stuff on the property.
I like the fairies.
She loves fairies.
Oh, that's an idea.
I love them.
She said anybody can go there and investigate.
And where's it at? Is it near like
It's
downtown?
near Louisiana. I mean, New Orleans. Yeah,
Okay.
it's near New Orleans. Yeah, in that area.
Because we actually stayed in Baton Rouge, and then we took the interstate over the highway over to New Orleans for a day trip.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm thinking that's like what, like a 16-hour drive from here. It's something crazy like that. But I would like to do it, for sure. Like to do it. But like I said, I need some supervision. I need chaperones.
Ah,
I don't think I've ever explored the woods in Kentucky. I have in Ohio a couple of times, but not Kentucky.
And then you went to Indiana to, where was that? A prison or an asylum, something like that.
Sanitarium.
Sanitarium.
No. That was Indiana State Sanitarium. I'm hoping to go back to Indiana sometime this year. I want to go to the Jim Jones Church for sure.
Oh,
wow, yeah. Well, let us know. We'll drive a few hours to meet you.
That would be
Well,
fun.
it takes a couple hours to get to Indiana.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
They even said, okay, when I talked to the people, because they don't have a typical website to rent this place, you got to call like the, what's up? I don't even know what it's called. Like
an office building.
like the
Owner.
like the city council or something like that, right? Like the
right.
people. But when I was talking to that lady, she was like, you know what? you don't even have to get a hotel. You guys can just sleep there on the pews. And I'm like, duh. No. I mean, it's an option, but I don't know about that.
Oh, what's my back hurt? Oh, yeah, I have a blood run on my back from scratch. Well, that would be interesting. For sure.
So I don't think Charlie was in the room when we asked about a bucket list or favorite place you'd like to go visit. Is there any place that you know of, Charlie, that you would like to go?
I think it's in PA, but I think you also can't really film there. But it'd be the old Pittsburgh Hospital. I think it's in PA.
Well, you can film there. You just got to submit all your footage and pay them a lot of money to put it on YouTube.
Oh, you have to submit all your footage.
Yeah.
I'd probably just walk around.
Those places are already expensive enough. Like the Trans-Allegheny Asylum. That place is pretty cool, but I would never go there and do a private investigation. I mean, they're charging upwards of $2,300 now plus $1,000 for insurance.
Wow.
For a couple hours, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. or 5. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
No thanks. A few TV shows filmed there, then they just take it that everybody has that kind of money to throw around.
Yeah.
You're better off just hiking the woods and find an abandoned house.
Do we have any other questions?
I think the questions are done. Don't see any more questions.
Ooh, Harper's Ferry. I think we're pretty far from Harper's Ferry. Isn't that up near? That's up closer to Maryland, right?
I do not know about that place.
Yeah, I've never heard of that place either. Wow.
Is it? Let me look. I'll have to look it up real quick. I may be. No, I think I'm thinking of something else.
Harper's Ferry, West Virginia.
Let me look at it on the map.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah, maybe it's not too far.
It's near Maryland.
What's it called again?
Harper's Ferry. I think they did a TV show about that years. Was that the one they did a TV show about years ago? Is that the one or not? Or did it start with an S? I can't remember.
It's amazing once you start looking up stuff on the internet or watching shows of all the places you never heard of before. Seems like you hear a new one every day. Somebody talks about paranormal or cryptid or something in a new location. It's like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's so many places to explore.
I mean, even our small town, there's probably places that are haunted in this town that we just don't know because people don't want to talk about it. So we've never heard of it.
Yeah. I mean, look how many people have existed before us and existed and places tore down. And there's just a lot. But like I said, my favorite places will always be just running through the woods, screaming.
Yep. Cosmic Joe says near Maryland.
That'd be interesting though to go.
We may be headed back to Maryland later this year for the Renaissance Festival, so I may have to stop by there.
Well, I'd like to go.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Last time we went to the Ren Fest in Maryland, it rained the whole time and we were soaked. We still stayed all day. I mean, it was fun, but it was rainy.
Yeah.
Well, Charliann, one more question. How do you feel after your first interview? Did you have fun? Were you nervous?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Will you be interviewed again in the future?
I have no clue. I don't know.
You don't know.
It invites you, right?
Yeah. Only if I'm invited.
So what kind of advice would you give to other kids who are seeing things?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Believe it in yourself.
Talk louder.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
To believe in yourself and don't let the media or anyone else condition you into not believing it. What you see.
There you go.
That's a good answer. And stay away from fear.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Oh my goodness.
Well, before we go, we're almost at an hour and a half. I mean, we can go longer if you'd like, but go ahead and tell us, everybody. Amber, you can tell us about ParaWorld and what your social is, and Charlie can bring up her YouTube channel again.
Do you still have the picture of
everybody what you do?
So my channel name is Cloudy and Oracle, and we post a little bit of everything. Most of it's funny, some of it's scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
You don't post scary stuff, do you? Oh, like games. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Games.
Oh.
Scary games. Her skating, that kind
Do
of
you
stuff.
still have the picture of Amber's book on your computer? The Appalachia?
I do not know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
some books on
it's-
Amazon. Y'all go get them and tell me what you think.
Yes, Amber has 2 books on Amazon. I should have pulled them out because they're behind me.
Thank you, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot.
Awesome. Yep, great show. Good job, Charlie, and everybody enjoyed you.
Yep, and you guys can find me on Amber's ParaWorld. I don't do much on Facebook, but I do have a Facebook page. You can message me, email me. I do readings and can do some private readings if you need them. And I'm
And you're
just
on TikTok.
yeah.
I
I'm on
mean, other
TikTok.
than you doing lives out in the woods, I do enjoy your tarot card readings and your
I think I'm going to start doing that again soon. I've just been trying to wait to get over this cold or whatever I've got going on. But I definitely think I'm going to start doing that really soon, and maybe even do like some members only videos for that too, like some live streams as well.
Are you going to slow down on the wood investigation because of the summer heat? And
No, that's my time to shine.
Okay.
I hate the cold. I hate the rain. I hate the snow.
yeah,
I want it so hot that I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hotter than love out here, y'all. I need it. I need it
bring
hot.
out your country accent.
I do. I try my best, like when I'm filming, to not sound like super redneck, but y'all, it's just here.
It is hard to hide it, okay?
Do you have any Ouija boards subjects coming up that you want to contact?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to think of a good one. I mean, some of the stuff I want to do, I would get in trouble. So,
Yeah.
but it's like I can't be me because they don't like it.
right.
I can't be me. They don't like it.
I don't like the way you said that.
But if anybody has questions, I do post. I mean, I've been trying to post like some milder content on like that's where I get most of my shorts from, is like my TikToks. I'll upload them. I've been trying to do that for a little while. I'll probably get back out in the woods this week. I don't think they're calling for rain for the next couple of days.
Yeah, for one.
But the grass is really high. I want to go back to that last place I went to, but I'm sure the grass is like up to my knees by now. And there's a lot of snakes out, so we'll see.
Last time we went out, we came back covered with ticks.
We've got a lot of ticks here this year.
Yeah, they're bad this year.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
I don't like it.
Wow.
Well, I said next time we'll have to just wear hats and, it's take an umbrella or something.
We were wearing hats. Yeah. I mean, they were inside our shirt. They were on our backs. I mean,
My goodness.
it was nasty.
Don't
So
even
we're
wear
not going
bee
back out until fall.
Wear bee suits.
I'm going to get me a Seresto collar.
I heard some people say they put tape on their ankles and then they turn it around so it's sticky on the outside. And so the ticks collect on your ankles and the duct tape. And they can't keep on going further up. So that might work.
Yeah.
That's a good
But don't they
idea.
like fall out of the trees too?
Well, they said fall out of trees, plus they're in the tall weeds. But yeah, they're bad this year. A lot of people are complaining about the ticks.
Good night, Lorna.
So on that note, thank you everyone for joining us and interviewing a child, not a child, you're a teenager. Interviewing and talking about childhood experiences, and this has been a great show. So thank you very much, Charliann.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
You didn't do too bad for your first time.
No, it's fantastic. It was
No,
a great
you did a good job.
conversation, and we don't.
Timer.
It's been a long time since I've been your age, so I kind of forget what it's like to first experience things or that. So it's nice to have your perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate your answers and the way you're thinking.
You guys know this. Like, she's a 100% talker, but I think she's like, when she knows people are watching, she gets a little nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, because she could literally talk your ears off.
Oh yeah.
Get a few more of these shows under your belt, and you'll just be going just like sitting across the table from somebody yakking away.
You just ignore chat.
Well, we don't ignore them.
I know. But
Yeah,
some
I'll let
people,
y'all know. I want to try to do possibly do the Jim Jones place like in Indiana, maybe probably by the end of September, like August, September. I'm not sure yet. I got to kind of check and see what's going on. But like, if you guys want to do that, I will definitely let you guys know.
All right.
yeah, let us know.
Gosh, that would be fun. You guys would like, oh, it's gonna be fun. It'll be fun. Yes, you could go.
Yes.
But you may have to go back to the hotel.
I want to experience.
I bring a
stuff.
babysitter.
No, I want to experience the good stuff.
She'll be the one running out the building. Ah!
Rainbow.
We'll have to make sure we put a
What was
a
that?
GoPro on her so we can experience her running around.
Yeah. Because I don't know who all in here like has ever watched Paranormal Nightmare TV series. Those guys are awesome. They got a lot of followers. And when I was talking to him one day at a Paracon, he told me that was one of the scariest places he has ever been. He got pushed down the stairs. They got scratched.
Wow.
He said it was wicked.
Maybe I need to wear bubble wrap on, girl.
You'd be too noisy. No,
No.
we're noisy anyways.
All right. Well, this has been a great interview. Thank you
Yes,
both
it
for
has.
being here tonight. We enjoyed it tremendously. I hope you guys will come back. I know you will, Amber. I hope Charlie. I hope you come on with her again.
Yeah, you're welcome to come back.
Yeah, and I want to add something too, real quick. If anybody that's watching this, if you are experiencing something that is like tormenting you, something terrifying, or your child is, you can always email me.
Mhm.
My email's available on my page, on my Instagram, wherever. You can email me, and I will help you the best I can. I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're at a loss or
Right.
Right, nowhere to go.
tormenting them or their child, especially the kids. You can, I'm always here. It might take a few missed calls and a couple of days for email, but I will get back to you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
There'll be 10 missed calls, 4 emails, 15 texts. Of course, she gets a hold of you.
Mainly because I usually leave Do Not Disturb on. I just like it.
That
Mhm.
Do Not Disturb is like her best friend.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, everybody in chat, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. And go over to Amber ParaWorld on YouTube and her socials, and also Charliann's. Check her videos out and give them a thumbs up, a like, and leave them a comment.
See, Kimberly already said, yes, my autistic grandson needs help.
Yes, I dropped my email. You can email me,
Thank you.
Kimberly.
Yeah, so Kim, reach out to Amber through email. All right, so on that note, we will see everyone next
All right,
time.
bye, y'all.
Bye.
Yep. Well, love you guys. Thank you for coming. We will see you next time. Keep your vibrations high.
And
Yes.
keep looking up.